Hi, I'm Phill Grove with Love American Homes, and today we're going to talk about the top investor mistakes. If you're an investor for a while, you're bound to make mistakes, and the best way to avoid mistakes is to learn from your mistakes, but even better than that is to learn from other people's mistakes, because that tends to be a little less expensive of a lesson. So over the last 6 years, my partner and I have collected a whole bunch of mistakes from working ourselves in this business and working with others, and we've actually put all of these in a little book we call the Top Investor Mistakes, and I'm going to go through some of those mistakes with you today. Well, some of the mistakes I wanted to talk about today are what we call buy and hold mistakes, landlording mistakes. And unfortunately, I've made a lot of these mistakes myself over the years, so I'm speaking from the heart when I relay the mistakes that you can make as a landlord. But first of all, I do want to promote the idea that everybody that's a real estate investor should become a landlord, because being a landlord and holding on to properties long term is all about building wealth. And whenever I talk to my CPA and get my taxes done, I always tell my CPA the same thing. I want to get rich. I don't want to make any money. And that means I want my net worth to go up, which means I want to own lots and lots of properties that are worth much more than I owe on them. And that's why landlording and buying and holding is so important. But when you do buy and hold, you need to consider that buying and holding is kind of like getting married. These are long-term relationships that you have with these properties, so you better make darn sure that you pick the right ones. And there's a lot of rights and wrongs, do's and don'ts, and mistakes that you can learn along the way landlording, and I'll relay a few of them right now. One of them is simply new homes. I'm a big believer in not buying new homes, and I'll elaborate on that to say that when I talk about new homes, usually I'm talking about homes that are in new home areas, like the perimeter of town. And the problem with new homes is you're buying homes in areas that there will be more new homes in. In other words, there's always lots of other land and lots of other subdivisions. And as long as you will be competing against new construction in the future, you are guaranteeing that your property will never be worth any more than, whatever it costs to build a new house. And, buy and hold, that's all about long-term appreciation. I want to buy something, and in 8 or 10 years, I want to sell it and get $100,000 or more in appreciation out of that property. I can't do that if I'm buying properties where in 8 or 10 years, there'll be other new properties in that area, in which case, the property will be worth what? It's just an old house, and it's surrounded by new houses that are worth whatever it costs to construct them, plus a little bit of profit. So new houses are not a good idea. The other thing that's a problem with new houses and new house areas, if you will, is that in general, you're buying expensive big houses on inexpensive lots, because that's where builders generally build. I want to own land. I want to own expensive land with inexpensive homes on it. And that means you're generally going to want to buy, in areas that have already been fully built out, where the appreciation rate is more dependent on the scarcity, the supply and demand of that fixed supply of property, than competing with other new homes. So there's a lot of things to consider when you're buying rental properties, and we've actually got a whole book called Top Investor Mistakes that talks about all the different mistakes you can make as a real estate investor. And we've also summarized in another book we've developed called Get Rich Slow, kind of everything you want to know if you're going to get rich slow, build a portfolio that will make you wealthy over time. If you're interested in these sorts of things, check us out on our website, loveamericanhomes.com. In the meantime, I'm Phill Grove. Thank you for your time.